अनेक जन्म संप्राप्त कर्म बंध विदाहिने आत्मज्ञान प्रदानेन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्नः विराजितपदाम्बुजः वेदान्ताम्बुजसूर्यो यः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भवानी शंकरौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम्। शंकर सुरेश नारायणेन्द्रम् शंकर सुरेश नारायणेन्द्रम् आनन्दगिरीश रामतीर्थम् रामतीर्थम् शंकर सुरेश नारायणेन्द्रम् नारायणेन्द्रम् आनन्दगिरीश आनन्दगिरीश रामतीर्थम् रामतीर्थम् यतिगंगाधर यतिगंगाधर शान्त्यानन्दम् शान्त्यानन्दम् टीकालंकृत टीकालंकृत पंचीकरणम् पंचीकरणम् सोहमात्मा सोहमात्मा सोहं सोहम् सोहं सोहम् ओंकारात्मा ओंकारात्मा ब्रह्मं 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 सोहमात्मा सोहं सोहम् सोहं सोहम् ओंकारात्मा ओंकारात्मा ब्रह्मं ब्रह्मं प्रणवं प्रणवं ब्रह्मं ब्रह्मं विभु परमात्मा विभु परमात्मा नमनं 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 शंकर सुरेश नारायणेन्द्रं नारायणेन्द्रं नारायणेन्द्रम्. All these are the names of the great masters who have written their commentaries upon the Panchikaranam. Om Namo Vasudevaya Satyajnana Sukhatmane Akhandayapyamulaya Mayine Sarvasakshine Mayine Sarvasakshine Omkara Sarvavedanam Sarastattva Prakashakaha Tena Chitta Samadhanam Mumukshunam Prakasyate Mumukshunam Prakasyate. Omkara is the source of all creation. Omkara alone has manifested at various levels as various things in this creation. With the help, support and aid of Omkara, one can reach or attain the highest levels of pure consciousness. How many planes Omkara has, how many ways it can be understood, all that we did try to know yesterday. Thereafterwards, we saw about the exposition of Panchikaranam of Sri Adi Shankara. Om Sat Shabda Vachyam Avidya Balam Brahma Avidya Balam Brahma. What is told as or said as or addressed as Sat is Saguna Brahma or Brahman along with Maya. Brahman with Avidya is addressed here as Sat. We also saw how the relationship between the Sat, that is the Brahman, and the Maya and the world is there by taking the example of sun and the cloud and the shadows. Even though there is no direct relationship, but there is a relationless relationship. We cannot attribute cause or the aspect of cause to Brahman, but at the same time, without Brahman, nothing would have manifested. And then, after we understand that Sat means Brahman along with Maya, this is Brahman with a form or Saguna Brahman, and this is the first thing that is understood as the source of all creation. From this Sat, or which is referred here as Brahman along with Maya, what happened thereafterwards? Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji says, Brahmano, Brahmano, Avyaktam, Avyaktam. From this Brahman, Avyakta has come into existence. Avyakta, in other words, means unmanifest. It also, in other terms, means the detached, unevolved, non-ego. The detached, unevolved, non-ego, which has the capacity to make the infinite appear as finite. The infinite appears as finite because of Avyakta. Unmanifest. When we look at the various manifested things in this world, they all appear into this world, whether they are subatomic particles or at the macro level, if they are galaxies also, they appear. Galaxies also appear, subatomic particles also appear. Micro level, the microparticle also appears, meaning suddenly manifests. At the macro level, even the galaxies also appear, meaning suddenly manifest. Scientists have always said that they appear. They don't see the formation of it, they just appear. After they appear, they can understand they are nothing but nebulae, gases, that's all. But even when the subatomic particles also, when they notice, they appear. From where they come? And then they have nominated some holes. Must be they thought they should be holy, so they nominated some holes. White hole from which all galaxies appear, and black hole unto which all disappear. So the holes are very holy. And actually the scripture, the Rishi, goes deeper into this and says, there is an unmanifested state behind it. These galaxies that appear, they are in an unmanifested state. Even the subatomic particles also, they are manifested, and behind that there is unmanifested. That way also we can gain some understanding about unmanifest. And this unmanifest is Avyakta. This also is called as Prakriti. This also is called as Pradhana. This also is called as Avyakrita. This also is called as Avidya. This also is called as Ajnana. Sometimes various names are attributed to it, but we will confine ourselves to Avyakta, unmanifest. And then, out of this unmanifest, Avyaktan, Avyaktan, Mahat, Mahat. From this Avyakta came the Mahat. Mahat means total intelligence. Mahat also means total intellect. Mahat also means the great womb. The great womb from which all other things have come. So it can be called as great womb or total intellect or total intelligence. In order to create, we need intelligence. In order to design, in order to make all these things programmed, we need intelligence. So that intelligence has manifested out of Avyakta. That total intellect which takes care of everything has manifested out of Avyakta. And that total intellect is necessary, because without the intellect, what else we can do? Without the intelligence, how we can do anything here also at the micro level, at our individual level also. So similarly, at the totality level also, the intelligence has manifested. Then out of that, what came out? Mahato, Mahato, Ahankaraha, Ahankaraha. Out of Mahat, came into existence the ahankara. Ahankara is not at our level, at the individual level, or at the personality level, but this ahankara is at the totality level. The total ahankara has come into manifestation. This ahankara is called as the principle of separate existence. The moment it appears, it starts claiming separateness, and it also starts making separation. That I, and then rest all becomes thou or you. And then when it associates with something, mine, and the rest all becomes not mine. Before that it was all universal. But once the ahankara appeared, then this principle of ahankara is required here to make possible all entities which think and claim and understand themselves to be separate from one another, separate from each other. Then only story can begin. Then only the drama can start. When it is all one and there is nothing else other than that one, what story? When you go to a movie and the movie is screened, and then in that movie which is screened, people are sitting and meditating. First scene, meditation. 10 minutes later, second scene, meditation. Third scene, meditation. Interval, meditation. After the interval, meditation. Only the owner of the hall and producer of the movie will be there afterwards to meditate. All the audience will go. Only meditation. Meditating on oneness of Brahman. It is all one. Nobody will watch that movie. There has to be separate entities, and between the separate, among the separate entities, there have to be some relationships. There has to be some positive, there has to be some negative, there has to be some confusion, there has to be some misunderstanding, there has to be a villain, there has to be a fighting. If all this is there, then they will see. So, in this show also, unless there are separate entities that exist, how can there be a story that can be formed? So, there has to be some principle which can make all these things happen. And that is ahankara at the totality level. So that ahankara came into existence out of the mahat, out of the total intellect. Ahankarat, ahankarat, pancha tanmatrani, pancha tanmatrani. Out of this ahankara came the pancha tanmatras. Pancha tanmatras, in other words, means the subtle 5 elements and then the elemental objects. The subtlest 5 elements, the earth, water, fire, air, ether, before the 5-fold quintuplication, 5-fold combination, or in other words it is called as quintuplication. Before that has happened, they were in their original form, pure form, subtle form. So that Sukshma Panchatanmatras or Apanchikruta Panchabhutas. Apanchikruta Panchabhutas or Sukshma Panchabhutas here are called here as Panchatanmatrani. And with these subtle 5 elements, there are certain elemental objects that are connected with it. For each of these earth, water, fire, air, other, the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha and all that, the sound, the touch, the form, the taste and the fragrance. Each one is related to one of these 5 elements. They have appeared. In other words, subtlest 5 elements and the things that are connected with these things have appeared. Then out of that what happened? Grossification has happened. And out of that grossification, what came? Panchatanmatrebhyaha. Panchatanmatrebhyaha. Panchamahabhutani. Panchamahabhutani. Panchamahabhutebhyo Panchamahabhutebhyo Akhilam Jagat. Akhilam Jagat. Out of the Panchatanmatras came the Panchamahabhutas, the quintuplicated or those things that have undergone the fivefold combination. Those five elements have come into existence. And out of those Panchamahabhutas, the whole creation came into existence. Everything that is there in this creation has come into existence only because of that Panchamahabhutas. But here there are certain things that are to be understood. Out of the Panchatanmatras, in the Prakriti, there are Trigunas. Prakriti means Trigunas. The three gunas are there. The Sattva guna is there, the Rajo guna is there, the Tamo guna is there. Out of the Sukshma Panchabhutas, the Sattvic Amsha of the Sukshma Panchabhutas, meaning before the quintuplication has happened, fivefold combination has happened, the Sukshma subtle Panchabhutas, subtle five elements, out of the Sattvic Amsha of the subtle five elements, the Jnanendriyas have come into existence. Jnanendriyas meaning eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. And also, along with them, the Antahakarana has come into existence. The mind, intellect, the faculty of memory or reasoning or investigation or contemplation, whatever you may call it, the Chitta and Ahankara, all these have come into existence. And then out of the Rajasika Amsha of the subtle five elements, Karmendriyas have come into existence. Rajasika Amsha, more activities connected with these things. So, hands, legs, speech, genital organ, and the organ of excretion. All these have come into existence. And also, Pancha Pranas have come into existence. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. Whether it is circulation or assimilation or distribution or digestion or whatever it is, all these are taken care by these Pancha Pranas, full of action. They have come into existence. Then, out of the Tamoguna Amsha of the subtle five elements, Panchabhutas have come into existence. The grossified Panchamahabhutas. Out of the Sattvic Amsha, Jnanendriyas and Antakarana. Out of the Rajasika Amsha, Karmendriyas and Panchapranas. And out of the Tamasika Amsha of subtle five elements came the gross five elements. How these gross five elements came into existence also, Adi Shankaracharya deals with them. We will see when Shankaracharya deals with them. So these gross five elements came into existence. So the gross five elements are not pure elements. They are all mixture of other elements at the gross level. At the subtle level, they are all pure. So next time, whenever you come across pure water, you can contest. That it is not pure water, it is all combination of other elements. Pure water means subtle water. So somebody can take the help of an advocate and sue also. So whatever it is. So then the idea here is, after Adi Shankaracharya ji makes us understand this, what is happening here? When we look at the universe is of enormous complexity. So many things are there in this universe. To understand the universe, it becomes very difficult for us. So many things. Go on exploring, more things will appear. This will never end. So, the genius of Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji has reduced the enormous complexity of the universe into five elements. The whole universe with millions and trillions and countless number of objects and forms and shapes and sizes and colors and peculiar natures is reduced into five elements. All is nothing but five elements. That is why Panchamahabhutebhyo Akhilam Jagat, the whole Jagat came into existence. But after saying this, Adi Shankaracharya ji, he is Advaita Vedantin who experiences the non-dual reality of Brahman. So he finally has to say, Panchikaranam Maya Rupa Darshanam. He says Panchikaranam is Maya Rupa Darshanam. All this explanation which he is giving is Maya Rupa Darshanam, is Maya in expression, not real. It is illusory, delusory, Maya that is there in expression. That is why this is being narrated or this is being explained. Why he has to say that? Because he cannot keep himself quiet of telling the truth. But still he has to explain, so he goes on explaining. The creation is explained here so that we understand how this world is in existence, from where it has come. At least now we can relate to this, that all this creation is nothing but 5 elements. And the 5 elements have come from 5 subtle elements. And the 5 subtle elements have come from the Ahankara. The Ahankara has come from the total intellect. The total intellect has come from the Avyakta. Avyakta has come from the Saguna Brahma, or Brahman along with Maya. If this is understood, we have known a relationship. A relation is understood. Then, in the multiplicity, the understanding becomes very clear. Because all the things can be reduced to 5, the 5 is reduced to Brahman along with Maya. When it is reduced to Brahman along with Maya, everything else that is there in the manifestation is Brahman alone, that is Om alone. The Om and Brahman are equated here. So that Omkara alone has become all these things. Out of the Omkara, all these things have manifested. This is to give us the clarity. There was one professor who was explaining about certain things connected with linguistics, language. He was trying to tell about English language and also something about the French language. So he said to the students, he showed the pencil and then the chalk piece and the pencil, and said, these things in English are of neuter gender. Pencil, neuter gender, chalk piece, neuter gender. But in French language, said the professor, they cannot belong to neuter gender. They have to be either masculine or feminine. There is no neuter gender in French language. And he was explaining about that. Then, in the due course of that explanation, suddenly one student got up and then said, Sir, I have a doubt. I said, what? Computer is what gender in French language? Computer is what gender? The professor did not know. So he was confronted with a question which he cannot answer suddenly. So he said, a very good question. Good that you are really growing in intelligence to raise such questions. And now I give you the opportunity to decide what it is. So in that class there were boys and there were girls. Men also were there, women also were there. And he said, all men come to one side and all women come to the other side. Then you form a group, sit in circular fashion and then discuss, have a group discussion for 25 minutes on computer. It belongs to what gender in French language? You decide, conclude, and then tell about your conclusion. Then I will listen to this. Then I will let you know what is the truth. This way you will enjoy the discussion. They started. 25 minutes of discussion. Then, as usual, women completed first. And then they said, Sir, we have concluded that computer is masculine gender. The men were yet to complete their discussion. So he said, let us wait. So they also said, we completed. So okay, then wait. So he said, okay. He said, if you have concluded that computer is masculine gender, you have to support it by logic. Yes, we will support it by logic. Yes. Okay, then explain. So they said, women said computer is masculine gender. Meaning it also got all masculine qualities. Masculine gender. Point number 1, support logic. Point number 1. They have a lot of data, but still they are clueless. Lot of data, still clueless. Second point, in order to get their attention, you have to turn them on. Otherwise, they will never give attention only. So, to get their attention, turn them on. Professor was impressed by the logic. Wow! Then the third point they said in support of their decision. This is the logic they gave. They are supposed to solve your problems, but half the time they are the problems. More masculine gender computer is. Then they said, final point of our conclusion is, once you commit to one, then very soon you will realize that had you waited little longer, you could have had a better model. Because new models come into market. So because of all these points, we feel computer is masculine in gender. Then the professor was almost ready to decide that it is masculine in gender, because so much of logic. What a logic, what an intelligent logic. Then immediately the men got up. Sir, we have decided. What? We have decided that computer is feminine in gender. Can you support it with logic? Yes, sir, we can support. Now what it is? Point number 1. No one but their creator alone can understand their logic. Nobody can understand. Only the creator can understand. Brahmano, that's all. Brahman. Point number 2. The native language in which they communicate with others is incomprehensible to everyone else. That is why computers are feminine in gender. Point number 3. Even your smallest mistakes are stored in long-term memory. For later retrieval. Professor was very impressed by this. Hare, very nice. And the fourth and final point. When you commit yourself to one, then you will discover that half of your paycheck is spent on accessories to it. That is why computer is feminine in gender. Now this professor was almost about to decide. Then he understood, Bapre, this is very troublesome. If I decide like that, these people will decide like this, that people will. Both logic seem to be very fine. Now he said, I will not take sides. I will switch over to English language. Neuter gender. Neither this nor that. No problem. The idea is, the world of Maya, it will always present to us the world of duality. Always joy along with the sorrow, happiness along with the misery, profit along with the loss, success along with the failure, birth along with the death, day along with the night. Like that, always this is there. And also in that dual world, likes and then dislikes, love and then hatred. Like that it will present always. We are either swinging to this side or to that side. Whichever side we swing into, we get attached, we get involved, we get identified, we get lost, and then we get bound. So that is why neither here nor there we have to be in a state of balance. How we can be in a state of balance? Only when we can recognize and realize that all this is nothing but one simple Brahman. When we can understand that, then when we see Omkara as all this creation is nothing but Omkara. When we say that one changeless factor, then we can deeply get connected with that one changeless factor and we can remain there. We can be deep rooted there. So our relationship in this world, in spite of our connection is being maintained with so many things, we have to maintain our relationship with Brahman. That is why Sri Sureshwara gives out another beautiful sloka explaining the subject matter in a very beautiful way. Asidekam param brahma. Asidekam param brahma. Nityamuktam Nityamuktam Tatsvamaya samaveshad Tatsvamaya samaveshad Bijamavyakritam Atmakam Bijamavyakritatmakam. A very beautiful explanation of Parabrahma. He says, Asidekam param Brahma. In the beginning, Brahman alone existed. Even now, Brahman alone exists. Param Brahma, Asidekam, Nityamuktam, Avikriyam. So, Asidekam param Brahma. Brahman exists alone. When you want to enjoy or taste the beauty of a relationship, when can you taste the beauty of a relationship and enjoy the intricacies, the interior delicacies of a relationship? When you are alone with the one with whom you want to get related. Is it not? When you are alone with the person, in that intimacy, then you can enjoy the deepest thrills of the relationship. In the alone, in the state of aloneness, in that privacy when nothing else is there, no interference is there, nothing other than you both, you and the one with whom you want to get related, whether it is an object or situation or a person, whatever it is. Nobody else is there. Then one enjoys that privacy, intimacy, and then the deepest thrills of the relationship. But here, who is alone? Is there anybody who is alone? Each person is along with a big crowd. The crowd of samskaras, crowd of tendencies, vasanas, crowd of karmas, crowd of thoughts, crowd of intellectual discriminations, crowd of egoistic notions. Where is the person alone? Each individual is with a crowd. Two crowds meet. What else will happen? When two individuals meet, it's not two individuals. Not two alonenesses are coming to meet. There are two crowds coming to meet. When two crowds come to meet, only confusion will be there. That is why there is dissatisfaction, there is no experience of intimacy, there is always superficiality in relationship. You're ready to get irritated, ready to get frustrated, ready to get disturbed, always waiting for an opportunity to get disturbed. Little things also can disturb. They claim to be a deep relationship, but that can change any moment. Where is aloneness? There is no aloneness because nobody is alone. If we want to really taste the beauty of a relationship with anyone who is alone, there is no one. If at all we want to know if there is anyone, there is only one. Who is that? Asidekam param brahma. He exists alone. There is no mind, there are no thoughts, there is no intellect, there is no discrimination, there is no ego, there is no division, there is no chitta, there is no host of samskaras, vasanas, there is no karmas, there are no desires, there are no expectations, there are no wants, there are no wishes, there is no secret agenda, there is nothing. He exists alone. Only one who can exist alone, that is Parabrahman. And only with him we can maintain that intimate relationship. The most deepest relationship is possible only with Brahman, not with anybody else. Because we are also with crowd, they are also with crowd. And what intimacy, what privacy in crowd? There is no privacy. Anything can erupt from that crowd and create disturbance. Anything. Any desire can erupt and create disturbance. Any opinion can erupt and then difference of opinion. Anything can create a conflict. That is what our relationships are. Suddenly they will change. Hare? What happened? Don't tell me what happened. Ask me what has not happened. Everything has happened. What has not happened? That is how it is. That is why if we really want to meet somebody who is alone, there is only one. There are no two, there are no many. If somebody says, I am waiting for you only, first tell, I am not only. And you also cannot wait only. You have your crowd, I have my crowd. Decently, let us say, let our crowds meet. There is no privacy anymore. We are only thinking superficial. If there is a privacy, there is nothing else other than that. There can never be a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding means there is crowd. That means there is crowd. Emotions are there, reactions are there, frustrations are there. Crowd is there, that's why it is. That is why we are not able to taste the relationship. Even in people, if we want to really be in a state of total love, unless we see something inside which is changeless, we can never be in that state of love. Either we have to develop our love to an unconditional level and then get into that oneness, or see the oneness and automatically there will be unconditional love. There is no other way unless we see something. That is why it is said there is only one. So let us try. Let us try that intimacy with him. Let us try that in-depth relationship with him. Once we get into that in-depth relationship, we will get absolutely satisfied because he is alone. He wants nothing from us. He alone is there. He gives everything to us. There is no relationship like that. He alone can give because he has everything. He alone has manifested everything, including the Maya. So he alone can give. So relationship means with Brahman. Real relationship is with Brahman. If you want to taste the deepest thrill, Brahman. Most intimate relationship, Brahman. The delicacy of intimacy, Brahman. That is the rest all superficial, time-bound, evanescent, fleeting. The same relationship in the beginning, it was so absorbing. Afterwards, nothing gets absorbed. Everything gets rubbed off. Nothing will get absorbed. What can you do? That's how it changes. Asidekam param brahma nityamuktam avikriyam. Nityamuktam, eternally free. You and I, not even temporarily free. Always bound. How many things are there to bind us? Bound by this, bound by that. Always something or other will be there to get bound. Who is there who is free? We are all bound. So many things bind us. Samskaras bind us. Tendencies bind us. Desires bind us. Karmas bind us. With all the bondages around, I am free. What free? There is no free. This freedom is an illusion. Real freedom is the freedom where we are not bound by anything. Is there anyone who is not bound? That person alone can free us. We are approaching somebody, I am having problem, I am bound, as if that fellow doesn't have. Maybe same problem is not there. For a change, he might be touched by a different problem now. That is all. Oh, you have that problem. That is the solution. But I have this problem. Everybody has problems. Everybody is bound. There is only one who is not bound. That is Parabrahman. Nitya Muktam Avikriyam. What is a common complaint in relationships? I never thought that this fellow will change like this. So deeply connected with me. So trustworthy is the person I thought. So loyal he was. So faithful. But suddenly changed. I never thought this will happen. Sudden change. And totally opposite. Or temporary change. Earlier, they used to really come to me, see me, sit with me, talk to me. Now they see me, but they don't come to me. Now they see me, but they don't talk with me. They see me, they don't even greet me. What happened? Worry. Is it not a big botheration in us? He changed, she changed, I never expected that he changed. I wanted this fellow to change, he never changed. I didn't want her to change, but she changed. This much of change, how it is possible? Too much of change, how can they change? How can they do like that? But they will do like that. Because mind is change, intellect is change, ego is change, chitta is full of change, and the individual who is identifying himself or herself as mind, intellect, memory, ego, they cannot but change. They can only change. They can only change. Morning they will be in one mood, evening there will be another mood. So moody. Which mood will affect which time, we don't know. Today they will be in one expression, tomorrow totally different expression. All shocks only, always jolts and shocks, everybody. Each person contributes to other shocks. Mutual giving and taking. Shocks after shocks. That is all it is. Tejomayanji also says, from where the surprise comes also, it is a surprise. You are always in for surprises. He always says, you are always in for surprises. But from where the surprise comes also is a surprise. You don't know who will surprise you. So that is how it is. Anything can happen. Anybody can do anything. Anybody can change. Always people, little bit of change. If that smile which is showing all 32 teeth now shows only 24, who knows, because of toothache. They may not show only any teeth only. Who knows? Maybe some problem. We don't know that. They are not smiling at me. So suffer. They turned their face away from me. Suffer. They went for a party. They didn't call me even though I am in the group. Suffer. They gave invitations to everybody except me. Even my servant also got invitation. I didn't get. Very sad. Suffer. How many reasons for us to suffer? Change, 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 change. Is there anyone who has never changed? Only one. Only one who can never change. Avikriyam. There is no change, no modification. If you see him today and then tomorrow, he will be the same. After 1 year, same. After 10 years, same. In death, same. After death, same. Next birth, same. He will be the same in relationship with us because he can never change. Change is not there in him. Change never applies to him. Asidekam param brahma nityamuktam avikriyam. That is why great masters say, the world doesn't deserve your trust. But it deserves your unconditional love. It doesn't deserve your trust, but it deserves unconditional love. So, we can only love the world and love the people, but not ask anything from them, seek anything from them. The moment we seek, the love is polluted. We may get disappointed, they may not give, they may not fully give, they may partially give, they may delay in giving. Finished. Our love is gone. So, the world doesn't deserve our trust because whom can you trust? Except Brahman and in those whom the Brahmic nature has awakened. That is all. Rest all are bound by their samskaras, vasanas, limitations, all kinds of confusions. Anything can change in anybody. There is no guarantee. There is only one thing that is changeless. one relationship that can never change, that is relationship with Brahman. And then, after listening to so many descriptions of Brahman, then people will think, what is this Brahman, yaar? Huh? There where there is no mind, no intellect, no memory, no ego, no world, no elements, no he, no she, no it, no they, no an, no ant. What is all this? Brahman must be a boring guy. Really boring guy. No change. He is changeless. Boring. No break. No break. Continuous same Brahman. He must be a boring guy. What entertainment when there is nothing there? He is one without a second. What fun. So that is why I have decided I don't want Brahman. So Brahman is boring. What is the Brahman? And people say he is beyond the mind. What is the beyond mind? I will try to know. They say you cannot know. He is beyond the known and he is unknown. Why should I know then? No. If you don't know, then you will not be happy. I think if I know, I will not be happy. So like that. So then it is said here by Sri Sureshwara, never think he is a boring guy. You don't know what he has. He has whenever we are feeling bored, what we will do? We would want to see some show. Is it not? Any show, laser show, hypnotic show, magic show. We want all these things. Some show we will see, pay some money and then sit for some time and then come back. That is all we do. Entertainment, some show. Any show you see, it is all entertainment only for some time and with payment. But Sureshwaracharya ji says, Brahman has the Maya show. Tatsvamaya samaveshad. He is with Maya. And this is any number of laser shows, magic shows, hypnotic shows, everything put together. And it is free. No payment. And it is unlimited, continuous entertainment. You go to Disneyland, Universal Studio, SeaWorld, any world in this world, it ends. But this show never ends. Continuous, because it is Maya. Whatever entertainment you want, all entertainments are there in Maya. The whole non-stop continuous entertainment. Then how can Brahman be boring guy? Most entertaining guy. Brahman. You know why? Maya. And the surprising thing about Maya is, you will be spectator also, you will be actor also. Both you will be. You can enjoy yourself also, you can enjoy others also. Same thing with others also. Everything. It is all Maya. So, it is non-stop fun. Brahman means, remember, non-stop free entertainment. Non-stop fun. In one of the places, in one study group discussion, one person said, Brahman rocks. Like that. So, whatever it is, the idea here is, Brahman is non-stop fun. Please understand that. And then, Bijam avyakritatmakam. It is the seed of all things, as it were. Because it has designed everything. And then when we get into Maya and when we get confused and when we get identified with the body, mind, intellect, various things, desires, and then set up and upset and confusion and then elation and then depression and then so many ups and so many downs and profits and losses and this and that, unison, separation, and we get into this and say, oh God, why are you doing all this? How long you will do all this? Why this creation at all? Why you put me into this Maya and Avidya? How long this can go on? How long I have to go through this? Then Brahman says, when did you get into this? This was never there. Bijam avyakritam atmakam. Avyakritam. Vyakritam means fallen down, change of form, distorted, disfigured. Avyakritam means never change of form, never fallen down, never there was anything that happened. So, Brahman will make us understand, in spite of all this happening, in one stroke, he can give us the knowledge that we are beyond Maya. He can take us beyond Maya. And in that state where it is beyond Maya, He will make us understand nothing ever happened. Whatever happened, it was only an appearance of what can happen. That's all, it was only appearance. It was not really there. So Brahman can take us to that level. So this relationship is the most beautiful relationship. Where can we find such a person who is permanent in love, total in privacy, never influenced by change, always entertaining and ever happy? And in a second he can liberate us and show to us that nothing ever happened. The dream can go on and on and on and on and on. Suddenly we wake up, there is no dream. All this, a dream. Like that he can suddenly wake us up and then there will be nothing there. Everything else would have been only an appearance. Such a person, we have to meet that person. Brahman. Next time when you go out, look out for this guy. Brahman. Because this is the most entertaining, enjoyable state or a relationship. But what happens here is, when all this is said, beautifully, Sureshwara also explains, Shankaracharya also explains, but finally they have to say, Panchikaranam Maya Rupa Darshanam. It is all Maya. Why they are saying like that? Because, see, in the items made up of mud, suppose mud plate, mud pot, mud vessel, mud spoon, in all that, form is mud. Mud has taken a form and we have given a name. Mud took a form and we have given a name. But the substance is mud. When we destroy a form, is substance destroyed? No, substance remains the same. Spoon can be broken, plate can be broken, mud plate, mud spoon, mud vessel, mud utensils. But substance remains the same. Substance, there is no change. Appearance, now there is no appearance. The form and the name, now there is no form, no name, but the substance remains the same. Similarly, the consciousness, which is not different from Omkara, that is the substance in this whole creation. All the changes that happen is only an appearance of form and then disappearance of form. And when form appears, we give a name. When form disappears, we give another name. That is all it is. So substance never changes. Substance ever remains the same. So what is the substance of this whole creation? Pure consciousness. That is all it is. Nothing else is the substance. Only consciousness is the substance. But what happens with us is, we get identified. We get into this, we get drawn into this illusion. We project, we create, we go on into this world. So many things we see, illusions after illusions, and we think they are real. That is how our relationship continues. There was one person who was regularly going to a pub. And something was very peculiar with him. He used to go to the pub and then he alone used to be there. He used to sit and then near the table and then he used to order for 3 pegs. 3 different. So they used to get 3. And then he used to place them in front of chair 1, chair 2 and this person. He looks at all the 3 and then he takes 1, then he takes 2nd, then he takes 3rd. Those bartender and then other people, managers, they asked, what is this? You order 3 and then you only take all the 3. Initially we used to think somebody will come. Then he said, we are 3 brothers. And we have decided we should never go alone to the pub. So whenever I come, I order for them also and I feel them and I take. I feel their presence. This is how we are connected, bond. So after 1 month, he started taking only 2 pegs. Only 2. And then the people thought, in the bar, something might have happened. First they wanted to ask, then they hesitated. Finally they asked, what happened? Something happened to your brother? Why? Why are you asking like that? No, you are taking only 2. Oh, that! I have joined the Baptist church. I quit drinking. I quit drinking. But I am taking for my brothers. We will be like that in this world. We don't know what we are doing only. Because of avidya, because of ignorance, we think we are the most intelligent people when we will be like that. Our actions. Every now and then, the worldly situations, the relationships, the expressions that we get and experiences that we get from relationships, every time, every now and then they will be telling us, something is not okay, something is not fine. There has to be something else. Something else gives us fulfillment. Something else gives us total peace, total joy. Something else is higher. Every time it will be telling us, because the world is designed like that, the world is made like that. That is why the great masters want to explain this world continuously. What is that world? How it came into existence? What was in the beginning? Then what is the second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step? Then the entire creation, Maya Rupa Darshanam. Because in spite of all the creation, what remains is only pure Brahman. See, we have seen movies. So many movies, countless only. So many movies. And that also, if you see Indian movies, they go on marathon. You can go on. And that also, you see, one speciality about the movies is, we see so many things. No, in a movie, there are so many people that are needed. Actors are there, actresses are there, cameraman is there, songwriter is there, and script writer is there, dance master is there, fight master is there, director is there, producer is there. So many people work together for so many months and then spend millions of rupees and then make a movie. And if it is Indian movies, the same person can be an actor also, same person can be a songwriter also, same person can be a fight master also, and same person can have double role also, triple role also, 5 roles also. Have you ever seen in Hollywood? Never. Have you ever seen? Never. They can't do, because they don't dare. But here they can dare. Any role. Same person, producer, director, actor, scriptwriter, screenplay, double role. Hero also, villain also. Same thing. Really, what is this? They will become, what these people are doing? Have you ever seen people crossing into triple figures in Hollywood? 30, 40. There, 100. Same actor. 200. 300. 500 movies also are there. They go on acting. Any role they will act. Where can you find this fun in Hollywood? I am not joking, you try. You show me any actor who has gone into 100. Never, you can't find. It's impossible. So who has more experience? They have more. Where a number of movies? There. Where is more encouragement? There only. That is why companies also are going there now for more encouragement. They watch movies also, they watch companies rise also, fall also. That is how it happens. So then this movie, after so much of struggle in the movie, so many people work for it, so many people involved in it, so many talents are shown, so much is shot with the camera, and then finally there will be a disclaimer. The roles in the movie indicate nobody, either living or dead, either in the present or in the past. All this is fabricated and unreal. So much of struggle, so many people, so much of work. Finally, all this is fabricated. And then we go and watch. And then we get identified. And we get into tears. Are they unreal? They are telling unreal. We are getting real tears. And somebody fights. We also fight with the neighbors. Because in emotion, real, we become real. Unreal, but we become real. Are we not experiencing real things in an illusory movie? In an unreal movie? Yeah. We know that they are images. But still we get emotional, we get identified, we get involved, we get lost. We come back and still go on sobbing. And sometimes come back and still dancing, humming, ding, dang, and all that. Unreal, but it is so real. Whatever they do, here we do the same thing. Whatever they wear, they only wear. Why? Unreal. Really unreal, but still we give so much of reality. Same thing. They are also screen of Brahman, show of Maya. It's all unreal. But we get real. No, I am really crying. In movie also you are really crying. You may say it's real. Just because you are crying, it is real. Just because you are laughing, is it real? Just because you are jumping, is it real? If you come in India and see first day of release, more than the hero, the audience will be dancing. All the audience on the screen will be dancing. You have ever seen in Hollywood? You can't see the fun. So, that means what? So much of identification. But it is unreal. Just because you are identified and just because you are having real experiences, do you mean to say it is real? You cannot say. Same thing is with the world. Just because you think that you are having realistic experiences, do you mean to say the world is real? You cannot say. That is why they have already said, Panchikaranam Maya Rupa Darshanam. They have experienced that which is changeless. They know this is all show of Maya on the screen of Brahman. That is all. There is a disclaimer here also. Bhagavan has already said in the scriptures, whatever I am showing, that is not related to anyone, past, present, future, living or dead. We don't see that. We don't read the scripture. In movie, we see that caption. Here it is hidden, that's all. In hide mode, this is. There it is open mode, visible mode. That is all it is. That is what is Brahman. So, the masters who have gained experience of this, out of their experience, when they see, it is all not really real, but dependently real. So, how this has manifested? Adi Shankaracharya ji will explain. But when they experience it, they give out their experience in the form of words. Guru means experienced word. They experience, they give out words. Sishya or disciple means catch hold of the word and gain experience. That is all. The journey of Sishya is from word to experience. They will give experience because they are born out of experience. When a guru gives, they are born out of that experience, of that bliss beatitude, of that supreme Brahman. Oneness with Brahman. That's why they give out these shastras in the form of words. And disciples listen to the words, hold on to the word, contemplate upon the word, and then the word will give experience. The journey of disciple is word to experience. Guru has already done the journey, experience to word. That is why the Shastra. That is why we go on knowing about this, trying to understand this, trying to assimilate this, and we move ahead. And that is what we have seen, this Akhilam Jagat. This Jagat is full of the five elements. The five elements have become the whole Jagat. As we have already seen, Satvika, Rajasika, Tamasika Amsas, Jnanendriyas and Antakarana, Karmendriyas and Panchapranas, and then all this gross world. What happened with this gross? Then it is said, see, whatever beings that are there, all types of beings, Jarayuja, Andaja, Udbhija, Svedaja, those beings that are born out of womb, those beings that are born out of eggs, those beings that are born out of sprouting and germinating, those beings that are born out of sweat, all types of beings are there in this world. That is what is called as Panchamahabhutebhyo Akhilam Jagat. Then there are so many lokas, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, and 7 lokas below, 7 above. All these 14 worlds, all the galaxies, all the solar systems, all the planets and all the beings, all of them have come out of the tamasic amsa of subtle Panchabhutas, which is the grossified Panchamahabhutas, that is Panchamahabhutebhyo Akhilam Jagat, and the states of waking, Jagratavastha, Swapna, dream, Sushupti, deep sleep, Murcha, unconscious, Marana, death, all these things are also in the Akhilam Jagat. Then the 7 states of Ajnana, Avarana, Bhranti, Paroksha Gnana, Aparoksha Gnana, Shokanasha, Atiharsha, and 7 states of Gnana, Shubhecha, Suvicharana, Tanumanasa, Sattvapatti, Asamsakti, Padartha Bhavani, Turiya, all these are included in Akhilam Jagat. And then finally, after explaining all this, Shankara says, Maya Rupa Darshanam. Then somebody, why did you explain? See, if you have to say that everything is illusion, everything has to be removed, then why did you say it? See, in a classroom, there will be blackboard. generally traditional classrooms. And on that blackboard, one takes a white chalk and then writes so many things. And writes and writes and writes, and then the students also see and then try to write and then try to know and inquire and ask, and then he explains and explains and explains. After all that is done, picks up the duster, whoosh, wipes clean. Nothing is there. Again the same blackboard. Then one student asked, "Oh teacher, if you have to wipe clean of everything, why write? Why do you write it on the blackboard if you have to wipe it? What is the point? Why are you writing?" Then the teacher said in kindness, "If I write, then you will understand. Once you understand, I wipe." That is all. So writing on blackboard is for understanding. Before also blackboard, afterwards also blackboard. Now before also plain, clean, afterwards also plain, clean. Only in between writing, letters, alphabets, equations, meanings, this, that appear. Everything wiped clean. Before also Brahman, afterwards also Brahman. Only in between writing. That is explanation. What? Sat Shabda Vachyam Avidya Shabalam Brahma Brahmano Avyaktam Avyaktan Mahat Mahato Ahankaraha Ahankarat Panchatanmatrani Panchatanmatrebhyo Panchamahabhutani Panchamahabhutebhyah Akhilam Jagat. This is what is Akhilam Jagat. Somebody wanted to go to some place, so he got into the bus. And then after some time he got out of the bus. Arey, if you have to get out of the bus, why get in? Why get in? If you have to get out anyway, why get in? It is to go to a destination. We can't sit in the bus. They will ask us to get out. You want to board the plane and then disembark the plane. Arey, when you have to come out, why go in? You have to go somewhere. Same thing. Why should I go into scripture if I have to come out of it finally? Why this appearance and then disappearance? You have to reach somewhere. You have to reach a destination. That is why this writing and then wiping. You have to understand something. That is why this writing and wiping. That is why sincerely Adi Shankaracharya explains the whole theory. And then sincerely wipes it clean. Then where we will be? We will land up in Brahman. All the while we will be thinking we are here. Then he will say this is not there. Hey, this is not there, then where I am? Brahman. Then why didn't you tell beginning? I told, you never understood. I told Jagan Mithya, Jagat is illusory, Brahman is real. You said I can't understand. So then I said Jagat came like this, Acha. And first that manifested, oh. Then the other one came out, aha. Then these have come, Acha. Then all this world has come. Now I have understood. The moment we say, now I have understood, it is all illusory. After understanding, you will tell illusory. That's what is the purpose. You have understood. Now I will tell it is illusory. Then you will understand that also. Because you have understood this, then I say, then this is not there, then you will understand that also. So that way it is called as Adhyaropa Apavada. Adhyaropa means superimposition. Apavada means negation. The traditional example we have always seen. The rope and the snake. The rope is mistakenly understood as snake. But the snake is not really there, but it only appears to be there. But it appears on the substratum. Similarly, because of ignorance, the whole creation appears. Adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapanchah prapanchate mumukshur bodha siddhyartham tatvagnaihi kalpitakramaha. All the great Tatvagnaihi, the wise people, they have prescribed a method for all the ignorant people to understand what is truth. What is that? Adhyaropapavadabhyam nishprapanchah prapanchate. By the method of superimposition and negation, the world is negated. The world is negated. When the world is negated, when the knowledge is communicated, what remains is only Brahman. Falsely attributing one thing to another and then finally negating everything. So that we remain in our drashta, our drik swarupa. We go into that original essence. What is the witnessing nature? What is the real true nature? We get into that. Otherwise, we are getting lost and lost and lost in this world. There were three people. One was a philosopher, another one was a mathematician, all geniuses, and then third one was an idiot. All the three were walking on a street in Europe. Suddenly they were knocked down by a speeding truck. And next thing what happened is they appeared at the pearly gates, where St. Peter was there, and that day along with him, the devil also was there. They were discussing about management of heaven and hell. So both of them were there. Then these three people appeared. Philosopher, mathematician, and idiot. Three appeared. And then they protested. We are young, we are youthful, we have so much to do, so much to achieve, so much to prove, so much to gain, so much to experience. How can we be taken here, brought here? It is unjust. It cannot be justified. It is not at all acceptable. They went on protesting. Now these people thought, what is this new kind of protests are coming from the world? Otherwise till now everything was accepted. Now these people are protesting. They are dharna. Protesting. That, we want justice. And the Peter was confused. St. Peter. And said, how can this happen? This should happen because it's unjust. And then the devil said, you don't know how to deal with these fellows. You go, I will deal. And Peter was sent. You go and take care of other things. I will deal with these fellows. What do you want? We want to go back. There is no going back. Once you come, that's all. No, we don't accept. Three people together in protest. Then the devil thought, these people, they are making unnecessary nuisance here. And if other people listen, they will also start protesting. And then this becomes a union. And then that becomes a protest. And then they will go on rampage of hell and heaven. What will happen? Very difficult. So better we have to subdue it now only. You should not spread into a movement. You should not allow it to move. Then he said, okay, on one condition, you will be sent back. If you fail in that condition, you will be directly, no more immigration, no visa stamping, directly into hell. Crash land into hell. They thought about it. Said, okay, because they want to get a chance. Okay, what condition? Then the devil said, you have to ask such a question to me which I cannot answer. You have to ask a question which I cannot answer, which I don't feel like answering, or I cannot answer. Ask. If you win, you will be sent to the earth. Each person individually they have to ask, no collective asking. Individual. Individually only results will be given. If you win, you will be on earth 100 full years. If you lose, direct crash landing into hell. Not even 3rd degree treatment, 10th degree treatment. Highest torture, whatever it is. So then, they said, okay. First it was the turn of philosopher, genius. So the philosopher closed his eyes and then opened and looked at the devil and said, come on, tell me the entire summum bonum of the teachings of Socrates. He thought, what will devil know? The devil, with a flap of his fingers, he made so much of huge stock of paper appear. And in that paper, the entire teaching of Socrates was there. This philosopher went on reading. Oh my God, this is correct. Then he could not do anything. Another flap of his finger, philosopher crash landing in hell. Gaya. Gone. Then mathematician. Then he closed his eyes and thought for a while and said, give me the most toughest, difficult, unsolvable problems in mathematics. Math. Another flap of his finger. Huge stock of paper. And then he saw so many problems, among that the 12 most difficult. They are really difficult. The mathematician could not say anything. And then crash landing into hell. Now idiot. The idiot looked at the devil. Uppar se niche. He looked at the devil from top to bottom and smiled at devil. Devil was confused. Because till now nobody dared to smile at devil. He smiled. And then the idiot asked, how are you? The devil, how are you? You are asking me? Devil, 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 you are asking, how are you? Yeah, how are you? I will not answer. Then the idiot said, you can't answer? You can't answer? No, I will answer. Then there was, I will answer. How are you? Oh, I am okay. I am fine. How do you do today? I am doing well. Then the devil asked, I don't think you are doing well. There is some psychological problem. You have some problem inside your mind. Don't you? Devil was surprised. Arey, what you are asking? I have a psychological problem. You have a psychological problem. Said, answer first. You have a psychological, because it is showing on your face. Any misunderstanding with your boss? Any professional problem? Professional jealousy? Devil is shocked. Arey, what is this fellow asking? And then he said, what? I will not answer. You can't answer? Then I will go. No. I will answer. Then he went on saying, yesterday something has happened, and then, oh, I understood that has happened. And then he went on. Then he said, do you want an idea? Do you want a solution to this problem? Devil said, you will give me solution to my problem? Yeah, I can give. Then devil was really confused. So this idiot went on asking questions and questions. What did you eat day before yesterday? Day before yesterday? What did I eat? Why should I say? You can't say? Then I will go. Then he asked, where is your wife? He went on asking such questions that the devil was so irritated, so frustrated, but he can't stop from answering. Went on and on and on. Then devil thought, this show will continue. There is no end. Because this fellow seems to be idiot, but he seems to be asking so many questions which I am really confused. So he said, final. Now this can't go on. Game can't go. Time out. No game can go on like this. Time up. Last question. Final question. If you answer, if you ask, if I answer, you will go into hell. If I can't answer, you will go back. No more, only one question. Then he said, okay, one question. So what? In place of many, one. Okay. Then ask, he said. Then the idiot said, please, you have to follow whatever I say because this is a question. Okay, condition is condition. Go and get me a new, fresh bench. Devil, what? Bench? Yeah, go and get. So the devil went and bought a new bench. Then this idiot looked at it. One question only, no? Yeah, one final question. Okay. Then you drill 48 holes in it. What? Drill 48 holes in it. You can't drill? No, I will drill. No. Drilling machine. 48 holes. Then this idiot went and sat on it. And then gave a loud fart. And then looked at the devil. Devil was confused. What is this fellow doing? And then he said, This fart came out through which hole? Which hole? The devil has to answer now. Devil never thought he will ask this question. 48 holes. Which hole? Confused. Then he asked, are you confused? You are asking me? You are confused or not? Yes, I am confused. You want help? You want to lead? You want guidance? Idiot is asking. You want hey, if you give me guidance, what will happen to? That doesn't matter. You want guidance? You want guidance because you can't answer. I want to help you, man. You want guidance? He said, okay, you tell me what guidance you want to give. Then he said, simple. I will replay it. You place your nose underneath it. When I replay it, there where you feel the pressure, that is the hole. Get ready. Devil said, no, I can't go down to this level. Question cancelled. You are free transport to the world. So idiot won over devil. Intelligent people failed. You understand? Meaning what? They who think mechanically are bound by mechanical things. They act according to tendencies and samskaras and karmas and desires. They don't see a way out. They can't think something else is there. They don't know how to think out of the box, come out of this mechanical living, come out of this bondage of the chitta and samskaras and vasanas. And they don't know how to live. Only those people who know how to look at it differently, how to think about it differently, how to understand it differently, how to see it differently, how to perceive it differently, how to experience it differently, then finally how to transcend it and reach that ultimate state. That is the idea that is given by Adi Shankara. Everybody sees the same world. Adi Shankaracharya says, see something else in it. See it as 5 elements. Then see it as 5 subtle elements. Then see it as ahankara. Then see it as total intellect. Then see it as unmanifest. Then see it as saguna brahma. Then see and experience it as pure nirguna brahma. Same world, same forms, same things. You see it as that and experience that ultimate state. How? Think differently. Try to think. This is what is being given here. How to see the world differently, know the world differently, understand the world differently, experience it differently, and gain the highest state of enjoyment and absolute state of realization. That is Panchikarana. So we have seen up to this, and tomorrow we will see what else is in store for us. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.